Hey guys, it's Jiggliepoof here. So today I wanted to talk to you a bit about the Enneagram. The Enneagram is basically a theory which breaks people up into 9 different personality types. And a lot of you might think, why would you want to put people into different boxes and try and summarize every personality into 9 different types, because we know that there's so many different people in the world. But I think that the Enneagram really helps in that although it breaks people up and puts them into little boxes, it helps us understand our differences and similarities with people around us, how to communicate better with different types of people, and basically how to just understand others better. So I think it's really, really useful, and it's something that I was a bit skeptical about at first, but then when I got more into it, I realized that it can be really helpful because it also breaks up your personality into the different health levels to see if you're unhealthy and how to get better and how to improve yourself. So I think that's very, very useful for everyday life. So we ended up using it at work. We all did our different tests to see which Enneagram type we were, and basically we used it when we went through everyone's personalities and tried to see how we could communicate better with each other and work together better. And it really has helped our team, because I think that going through, even we explained it in our own right, in our own way, how we feel about different things, and by going through that with our work team, it really helped us to understand each other better, work well together, and just understand how everyone works together as a team. So you don't have to use it for work, you can use it for your family, your friends, in your relationship, and it's just really a good tool to use to better communicate with others and understand yourself as well. So I'll just read you quickly what it says about number 4s from the EnneagramInstitute.com. So our key motivations is we want to express ourselves with our individuality, to create and surround ourselves with beauty, to maintain certain moods and feelings, to withdraw to protect self-image, to take care of emotional needs before tending to anything else, and to attract a rescuer. So I find this very prominent with myself, is that I'm always looking for that person that will take care of me and that understands me fully, and that's why I only have very few friends, and I keep to those that little group, because I feel like they understand who I am. And I'm always looking for now that I have my rescuer, which is my boyfriend, but I was always looking for that person that could take care of me and would understand me, and I could just self-express to them. And I think that that's very prominent with number 4. So one of the things about number 4s as well is that we see ourselves as different to other people, which can be good and it can also be bad. So we see that we often look, instead of looking for similarities between ourselves and others, we often see why we're different to others. We look for the differences instead of the similarities. So we'll often 4s also think that they have something special about them, some special skill that they haven't found yet, and they think that they're unique in society and they have something unique to bring, and they're always searching for that thing that will make themselves stand out. My boyfriend always jokes on number 4s are special snowflakes, because we always think that we're special, unique, and different to everyone else. Which is probably true, we are pretty different. Another issue, and I keep pointing out issues in number 4s, is because I always find the issues in myself and then I find them in the number 4 type, so I can really sort of connect with that. So another issue with number 4s is that because we think we're so unique and different to other people, we often find that we won't be able to find anyone that can adequately love us and fully understand us, and I think that can be quite a problem for an unhealthy 4. So 4s often think that they're missing something from themselves, so we're always looking for that something that we feel like we're missing. So it could be self-confidence or anything like that, and then we're always trying to find the thing that we feel is missing from ourselves. Another thing that number 4s have is that because sometimes unhealthy 4s, I don't find that I felt a lot like this when I was a teenager, but now that I'm more of an adult, I don't really feel this way anymore. But unhealthy 4s can feel like they don't have a true personality. They feel like they sort of go like this, and they're in ways of sometimes like this, sometimes like this, and they can often find that they don't have a true persona, especially when they're around people, and they can sort of try and mold to be this certain person around other people and then feel like they're lacking that true self. This is a funny one that they mentioned about fours because this is so me. Is that number fours love being around people. We need to be around people, but at the same time we're really self-conscious and we really get anxious around people. So it's like this thing where you're like, I need to be around people, but when you're around people you're like, I'm anxious. It's like really, really like the worst combo ever. So the mantra that they've put here for number fours is, I am myself, nobody understands me, I am different and I am special. Fours also have what is called the fantasy self. So they always picture themselves in a few years time, and we say like, I'm going to be like this and this and this, and we have like this idealized self in our head that we think that we will become one day, and we can often have like vivid scenes of this future self of ours, and they often say that it gets brought out with like art and music and whatever. So this is like so true. I listen to like songs and I'll picture myself like playing bass and like, yeah, I'm gonna be like this incredible bassist one day, and yeah, so that's another characteristic of number fours. So fours often try different identities on throughout their life and sort of see what fits them and see which is more me. So often as teenagers, number fours will go through like stages where one day they'll be like punk rock, the next day they'll be like super hippie, then the next day, or not the next day, but like in different phases, and then they'll be like, no, tomboy, and then really girly girl. So like they try on these different like identities to try and find the identity that fits with them inside of their like soul. So yeah, there are really good things about fours as well, that we're very artistic, very like, we understand ourselves. If you're a healthy four, you really understand how you work and how feelings will impact your emotions, and you really like, because we're so like inward, we really understand ourselves when we really like work on ourselves and try and understand what makes us work. So you have your main sort of personality type, then you also have wings. So your wings will be either one number up or one number down, and it's sort of your secondary personality. It's the part that like makes up for, like, you're not just number four and that's all you are a little bit more of the one side or the other side. So I'm a type 4 wing 3. Number 3s are basically built upon being successful and being perceived as successful. So 3s are very like self-assured, they're very charming, they're very energetic, and they just want to like do well in life and really like set out to achieve what they want to do. The only problem with 3s is that they can be very concerned about their image, so they're very image conscious and they really worry about what other people think of them. So their basic fear is being seen as worthless by others, and their basic desire is to feel valuable and worthwhile, and especially to be perceived as valuable and worthwhile by others. So with all Enneagram types you get different health levels for your type. So there's obviously 9 health levels, 1 being the healthiest, 9 being like you need to go see a psychologist. So 4s at their best are very artistic, very inspired by the world. They understand themselves and they just want to express their identity and themselves to the world, and they do this usually in forms of like art or music or any form of like expression. At level 2, which is also quite healthy, 4s are very understanding of how they tick and how they work. They're very compassionate to themselves and to others, and they're just very inspired as well by others around them and by themselves. So when you're at level 2, you're basically on a search for your self-image. Like you understand how you work, but you just want to fully understand yourself, and that's what you basically dedicate towards, is finding out what is really you. So level 3 is when 4s are highly personal and individualistic. They're emotionally honest with themselves, and they allow themselves to feel different emotions, even though they see certain emotions as me and not me. They'll allow themselves to experience these different emotions without being too harsh on themselves. So those top 3 were the healthy levels. Now we're moving on to the average levels, which is like you should start moving towards the healthier levels if you're in these middle average levels. So level 4, fours are artistic, very romantic. They like to create beautiful things. They like to create a beautiful environment for themselves where they feel like they fit. But they also can be very stuck in fantasy life. So they'll never actually focus on the real things going on, but they'll be stuck in like this fantasy of like themselves and fantasy of like how life is and how life is going to be without actually looking at what is real and what is here. And being stuck in a fantasy world can be great, but it can also be very self-destructive. So level 5 is where it starts to get a little bit more unhealthy, I'd say. So level 5s are very sensitive. They're very they take everything personally. Like if someone gives you criticism, it will sit with your heart because you'll see that as yourself. Can become very introverted, self-absorbed, very moody. This was like me at 16. And they're very concerned with their like self-image and like to take a lot of time by themselves to reflect on their self, and that can cause them to become very introverted. Then level 6 is also moving on to the more unhealthy side. Then this is where 4s begin to really think that they're just different from everyone else and they really just can't fit in with society. They live with, also try to live in a fantasy world, but they also live with self-pity and sometimes self-hate, and they become very envious of others, that they think that they'll see someone else and think that they have this self-image that is who they are, and they really get envious of that because they want to find out who they are and they feel like they haven't got that together. So level 7, this is where it starts going into that what is classified as the unhealthy sort of levels. So you become very fatigued. You just think that, like I said again, completely different. You get angry at yourself. You don't want to be around others because you just feel like you can't be around others because you're so different. You can feel shame in yourself as well. And when you start feeling these emotions, this is when you need to find people that you need to find a 2. I found this. You need a 2 in your life. 2s are like the people that are really helpful and they live to help others. They just want to help others, and they can become the 4's rescuer. So, but that also can be a very dangerous relationship because the 4 will depend on the 2 and will depend on the 2 for everything. And so that can be quite dangerous. But the 2 loves that. The 2 loves to give, loves to help others and feel needed. And the 4 loves to need someone. So it's a good relationship, but it can also be bad. So level 8 is where you're really tormented by yourself. Everything torments you. You feel like you can't get help from others. And that no one can understand you, and you start to blame others for your feelings, and this is where it can get really unhealthy. And level 9 is the worst level, put it that way. So it's feeling hopeless, self-destructive, possibly abusing alcohol or drugs or some sort of addiction that helps you feel more like full and whole. So you're depressive, can be narcissistic, and they can come with a lot of mental and personality disorders at this point. So yeah, that is the number 4. I don't think I'm in the unhealthy stages at the moment, which is nice. I remember going through teenage years feeling like I was definitely one of the unhealthy 4s, but now in my life I think that I've gone up the levels, which is great, and I think that anybody who is a number 4 should read those health levels, see where you're at and see how you can improve on yourself. Also, if you go to enneagraminstitute.com, there's a lot of different articles and papers on different types, that how they work together, so you can go read. So if you're dating a number 6 and you're a number 4, you can go read exactly how that relationship works and how you can improve on the relationship and how things can go wrong and how to communicate better. So I think that's really important to go have a look at as well. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what type you are in the comments, and if you are type 4 as well, then let me know. Thanks guys, bye!